Good morning and welcome to this weekly market update brought to you by myself, Richard Sleer, together with Andre Sleer, currency strategist at Treasury One. Andre, we start this week off the 21st week, so they're getting the golden key in weeks for keeping the war going on the Middle East. We've seen it's been the ninth night in concession that the US has attacked the Iran infrastructure. Iran has retaliated, attacking some US infrastructure in Kuwait especially. So definitely some upgrading of the Middle East conflict that's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. What is currently happening with the oil price and how does it impact the world?
Thank you, Richard, and good morning to everybody. When we spoke last week, it was the start of the war again, really. But at that stage, we still had the memorandum of agreement that was in place. And a clear indication from all sides that the discussions regarding a peace agreement was still ongoing. It's a week later, it's the 9th day of the fighting, and at this point in time, Tehran has totally stepped back and saying that they disregard the memorandum of understanding, that it doesn't actually exist anymore. And Mr. Trump has made the statement that he doesn't actually care anything about what they say. So full scale, back into war with no possibility of an end at this point in time. And it's a very clear one to see on the oil prices, where we have seen the oil price going above 90 and actually still trading around those levels. So definitely an immediate impact on what can be expected in terms of energy prices throughout the world. And I think it's well known and well debated and discussed at this point in time that if that's the case, and if there is less oil coming through the Strait of Hormuz, and now there's even discussions or the possibility of other areas where the stoppage of the flow of oil can also be impacted. And if that's the case, then it escalates on the cost of energy and immediately, and as I say, that's been widely discussed, the impact of that on what happens with monetary policies, central bank interest rates, world economic growth, etc. So we squarely back to where we started after the start of the war on the 28th of February.
Yeah, Andre, you talk about inflation impacts, interest rate impacts. So both those figures are coming out for South Africa this week. We're getting our inflation figures on Tuesday, and Mr. Letshego Kganyago makes his interest rate decision with the MPC on Thursday. What is the expectations for inflation and interest rates this week out of South Africa?
If we look at what Mr. Kganyago quite a few times already in the last month, during press conferences, during discussions with the press, had hinted at, he said that he will contain inflation as low as possible and will not deviate from the target rates set as 3%, etc. So he has actually already indicated his strong stance against inflation on a runaway trajectory, and with oil prices now at elevated levels, fuel prices set to rise again at the beginning of August. To me, there's a very, very good possibility that they might look at increasing interest rates, especially since the inflation figure that's expected to be released this week is possibly to be on the higher end again. Not as high or such a big increase as was the last one when it went up to 4.5%, but we could see it 4.7 to 4.8%, and that would put pressure on the central bank to possibly look at the rising of interest rates. We must keep in mind that the South African Reserve Bank only sits every second month on their monetary policy side. And if they only sit every second month, that simply means if they do not move on interest rates this month, then they have to wait till September before they can actually move. So there is a possibility that they might increase interest rates. It's at a pivotal point as to which side they will face. By definitely a 50-50 chance, and in my own personal opinion, it slightly is more in the favor of an increase than being left at the same levels.
So, Andre, it will be interesting because that leaves the rand in a precarious position at this stage. We've got the risk-off scenario and the possibility of interest rate hike that can support the rand even further. We're still firmly in the 1625 to 1675 band that we've been speaking about for a while now. Are we still happy with that band, and how do we see it play out?
At this point in time, I'm happy with the band we got, 1625, 1675. The war and the escalation of the war and energy prices and so forth is a risk-off situation for emerging markets. The possibility of interest rates in America that could stay at elevated and higher levels for longer is definitely one that weighs against the rand and pushes it up to higher levels, and that's why we are in the middle of that range. But having said that, if the rand were to see interest rate increases, that would be supportive of the rand, and it would keep, so to speak, the wolf away from the door and keep us very comfortable in that range. If interest rates does not increase in South Africa, it could be seen as slightly negative for carry trade and so forth, because the Americans would keep their rates higher for longer, and that could push us closer to the 1675, which to me is a bit of a problematic area, because if it gets close to that and we break through it, and then we could see it moving to a different range. But for the moment, I'm happy with what we are seeing and being contained in that range.
Andreas, thank you for your time once again. For everybody out there, enjoy the week, and we'll be back next week. Cheers for now.
Thank you, Richard.